Over the past year, thousands of students attended pro-Palestinian protests on campus like these. Universities now say they are grappling with how to balance freedom of speech with the safety of their students. This was just one pro-Palestinian protest at Newcastle University last year. After the university called police to the scene, students we spoke to allege excessive force was used. Students and staff wanted to be interviewed anonymously, and the footage you're about to see was filmed by protesters who were there.
At one point, a few of us stood back and started to count the number of police. There were well over 50 police. Way more than I've seen at any point, I think.
As tensions seem to escalate, the police are seen attempting to carry a limp protester.
When I got to the protest, I immediately saw someone having a seizure. So just someone thrashing around on the ground while police are pulling them forward.
Northumbria police said some protesters refused to comply and that they will not accept people using protests as a means to commit crime.
They got out their batons at that point to try and keep pushing us back and pushing us back.
If that's now how the police and employer are going to treat peaceful protests on the campus I work, that really makes me worried for the future.
Sky News and Liberty Investigates has now found new evidence of how pro-Palestinian protests on student campuses have been policed over the past year. We've seen instances of universities reporting protesters to police, starting dozens of disciplinaries, and in some instances we found universities collaborating with private surveillance firms. We found more than 40 UK universities discussed Gaza protest activity with police or security organisations, and 28 universities investigated as many as 113 protesters, staff and students for their pro-Palestinian activism. Since October 7th, the CST has recorded a 5-fold increase in anti-Semitic incidents at universities, a deeply concerning statistic for Dov Foreman.
Of course, university is a place where you should develop your opinions, where there should be freedom of speech, but that has to be within the confines of the law, and that can't be at the expense of Jewish students like myself, who at times feel like we're being dehumanised and delegitimised on campus.
Universities UK says there needs to be a balance between freedom of speech and freedom of expression, and say it's legitimate for universities to liaise with the police, but that it has to be proportionate.